guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, this channel is all about my journey throughout CRNA school. So today's video is going to be a semester 3 game plan. If you guys are interested, let's get into the nitty gritty. So I'm so excited that I'm actually in semester 3 already. It just doesn't feel surreal. I was just talking about it today with my fiance, like, you know, the fact that I'm in semester 3 already, I feel like I just started last week. So it's pretty cool, honestly, to be this far in and to know that I only have one true semester left of didactic after this one, obviously, because I just started. It just feels awesome, and it feels like, you know, like I'm getting somewhere, like there is some sort of light at the end of the tunnel. It's still kind of very faint and far away, but I know it's a process. And I'm learning as I'm going. Like, I don't feel like I'm ready to be a CRNA at all. You know, just being in the classroom environment and only having a few clinical days just doesn't feel like I'm ready. You know, like I remember when I first started as a nurse, I was so nervous. Like, I was like, what did I just do? You know, I have to talk to people. Like, I can't believe I have to talk to people. And I was in a residency program for 4 months before I was able to actually work on my own. And it was a pretty cool experience, but I felt like it was a bit drawn out. Like, I was ready to be on my own after about a week. But I also felt like I was able to catch on to things pretty easily, and I'm the kind of person that I don't like to be told multiple times the same thing. So it was like, I don't know, I guess I was so motivated to not look like a dummy that, you know, I figured out the job pretty quickly. So I just don't feel that yet. Obviously I've only had a few days, but, you know, knowing the material in the background, it still doesn't feel like it's correlates to real life. Yeah, because like they talk about like scenarios that they've been through, that my professors anyway, that, you know, oh, I've been in this experience and I did this and I did that, and it's just like I don't still understand why those things are done that way, and that comes with time. So that's why I feel like I'm okay with like giving it time. You know, I don't feel like I'm ready yet, so I'm okay where I'm at. But I do want the classroom stuff to end, because that's literally for the birds. Like, I'm not into that anymore. But let's talk about the game plan, because I've been rambling on about nonsense. So I have 5 classes this semester. I have regional anesthesia, which I'm actually pretty excited about, because we always talk about blocks and stuff like that, and I have no idea about it. I watched a few blocks in my last pre-op day, and it was pretty interesting to watch. But anyway, so I have regional anesthesia. I have a surgical procedures class. It's surgical procedures 1, which indicates that there's a surgical procedures 2. Then I also have a health informatics class, which is online. I have pathophysiology 2, because I had patho 1 last semester, and I have one more. Hang on. Oh, it's anesthesia for coexisting diseases. So it's like this, like the anesthesia portion of having patients with multiple comorbidities within each system. So it's pretty interesting as well, because the pathophysiology class we learned, you know, we learn about the disease process, but we don't learn so much about what the anesthesia considerations, you know, apply to those disease processes. Like, there are some little tidbits here and there, but the coexisting is where we're actually supposed to be learning, you know, where the comorbidities affect your anesthesia plan. So that's actually pretty interesting as well. And it does feel very nitty gritty anesthesia stuff. It doesn't feel like a waste. You know, it feels like material that I do want to know and need to know. So I'm happy about that. The health informatics class, I feel like, is just, you know, a class that you have to take. But our professor is super awesome. So I don't think it's going to be too much, probably just busy work, to be honest. And that's okay, because it is a doctorate program. It's like a master's level class, or graduate level class. So it's got to be worth something, right? But anyways, so the fact is I have 5 classes just like I had in my first semester. And it's kind of a similar structure, you know, the 4 in-person classes and 1 online. The only thing is that we're incorporating 1 clinical day per week. So I feel like, you know, I was able to time manage well in the first semester, because I can't really use the second semester as how to time manage, because I had 1 less class and 1 less clinical day. So I felt like I did have a lot of time in semester 2. I personally wasn't a huge fan of the classes and the class structure, so that's why I had a lot of complaints about semester 2. But this semester kind of reflects to me semester one. So it's kind of hard to know that I'm going to have to navigate having one less day in the week, because obviously the clinical day, I think it's 8-hour days. So I think I will have time to get stuff done at the end of the day. And, if I'm being 100% honest, I really don't get started on any schoolwork until later in the day, because I'm just like slow to start. Sometimes I sleep in. And then on school days, I don't actually get to schoolwork until after school. So I'm just being a little baby about adding an extra clinical day in, but I do like clinicals. It's a fun experience. But the 5 classes is going to be a little difficult to navigate. And like, it's the same professors I had last semester. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Patho, I'm not worried about it at all. That professor is grade A. Chef's kiss. He's amazing. What he teaches is what he tests, so I'm not worried there. And we have one scholarly paper and some workbooks, but the workbooks in general help study for the test, and then the paper is just so that you can get 100 on something and boost your grade. I might actually get to that paper now this weekend. That's not a bad idea, because there are a lot of assignments, a lot of busy work assignments. So yeah, I've gone over patho. So aside from workbooks that he assigns before each test, I have just one paper. And it's like a 5-page paper about a disease process that we're going over. So I might just pick something now and just write about it, because it was pretty easy. I did it last semester in like a couple hours. So yeah, I could probably knock that out. And then for health informatics, it seems like there's going to be discussion posts every week. And then replying to discussion posts. I'm not too worried about it. I do believe there is, I have it here actually. Okay, I have a scholarly paper and a PowerPoint presentation. I'll have to look into the details of that, but I don't think it's going to be anything out of this world, honestly. And this professor is pretty awesome. Like, she doesn't really, not that she doesn't expect much from us, it's just that we don't have to give too much. She understands that we're very busy. So I like that about her. But yes, so for my health informatics class, it seems like it's just weekly discussion posts and replies, a PowerPoint presentation, and a scholarly paper. So that should be a slam dunk class. And then surgical procedures, that class I feel like is gonna drain me, just like general principles did last semester. So she has us doing weekly pre-class reading outlines. So like, we have to outline the chapters that she's assigned. But it kind of sucks, because it's like, she'll ask us to outline 2 whole chapters, and really it's not like, she doesn't emphasize the entire chapter. Like, she might emphasize 1 or 2 things in each section. So it's just like kind of shooting in the dark, reading in the dark. And I'm not a huge fan of that. And I felt like I wasted a lot of time. And toward the end, my outlines were kind of just like, I would outline the section and then look for a key point, write it down, and move on. It wasn't like I actually read, which I used to, and I was. Because either way, it wasn't even helping my grade. So like, my test grades still didn't reflect well. So that class has those pre-class reading assignments. We also have, I have a case study, which is going to be presented in a group of 4. So I believe we just pick, one case. I'm not sure the details on it, and just present it. And then we have one scholarly paper. Last semester, the scholarly paper was graded very harshly, but I went by the rubric, and I didn't write, exactly what it said in the rubric. I kind of tried to make it scholarly, and that wasn't received well. So what I think she wants is to, like, if the rubric says, synthesize and summarize the article, okay, done. What are the strengths and weaknesses of the article? What is the gap in the literature? Just literally just write, the gap in the literature is this. The strength and weakness, the strengths of this article is this. The weaknesses of this article is this. Because literally what she said she did was she skimmed the article, looked for those keywords, and then highlighted the sentence. If you wrote a sentence about it, you got a point. So I don't even think like I'm going to put too much effort into it, because I was trying to write transition sentences and like, discussion and the introduction matching the background, matching the conclusion, and really she didn't really look at that. I don't know. I thought my paper was decent, but I got a 68. So yeah, I have a paper for that class, a case study, the pre-class learning assignments. I'm trying to think what else. I think that's it for that class. And then obviously exams. Okay, so that was 3 classes that I've gone over. Then I have regional anesthesia. Regional anesthesia is great because it's just exams and then modules. And the modules are 5 questions before each class. So it's kind of like you're reading the chapter to find the answers. And then he asks us to answer the questions in class. But I don't mind, and it's pertaining to regional anesthesia, and I find that kind of intriguing. So I actually have to get to that now because it's due today. I'm being very lazy this weekend. But yeah, there's only a few modules to do throughout the semester, and then tests. And then for the last class, what have I gone over? Surgical procedures, informatics. Oh, coexisting diseases. So coexisting diseases, we have a case study and a scholarly paper aside from the exams. But that's the same professor that teaches our health informatics, so it's going to be a little looser than the surgical procedures paper and the case study, so not too worried about that. What ends up happening is like they're all due kind of either midway through the semester or like 3/4 of the way through the semester, and which gives us a lot of time to get it done, but we have exams at that time. So at this point, I will have exams starting in week 4. So I might just actually start knocking out a lot of the busy work. I did that last semester. That was my game plan. I left only a few things to the end, and I hated that. I left the med chart that I had to do, but I did give myself 2 weeks, like 2 weeks. I mean, it was due week 13, and I did it in week 11. Like, it's not terrible, but I said I was going to have all the stuff done by week 5. And then the scholarly paper, I think I finished a week before it was due. It wasn't that stressful. Like, I didn't give myself to the last second in anything really, but it just wasn't fun to do. Those were not fun to do, but I got them done, right? So my game plan, I'm trying to be realistic here, is just to start chipping away, to not leave anything for the last minute. And like, if ever I have a week that I feel like I'm not doing busy work, I need to get to it. At least start planning something, typing something, putting something together. I don't know. Whatever it is, I feel like I got to put at least a little effort every week so it doesn't feel so overwhelming at once. If I can do a marathon like paper, I'll do it so that I can just get it done. But I'm just trying to be good to myself. And like, I feel a lot of guilt this weekend because I've been kind of lax. I took too long on my outline. I have here a list of things that I need to get done by a certain day, and I've been very lax. And I've been upset about it, but I'm also like, but I need to live a little. So yeah, it's just like, it's a bittersweet thing. Like, I know I have a timeline and I know I need to stick to it, but it's a very loose timeline. It doesn't need to be painful, so to speak. But yeah, I have to stay on top of the lectures as well. Like, aside from the busy work, I'm like, that's not even a huge concern of mine. Like, I need to go over the lectures that were covered this week. So, and I feel like they're not giving us the opportunity to do that, but I'm also being a little ADHD with like my attention span. Like, I will do anything and everything to not do schoolwork, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I don't know. This semester is a little strange. I feel like it's going to be a little difficult to navigate, but I feel like somehow we always pull through. So that's also a thing. But I'm excited and I'm looking forward to just going week by week. And honestly, what's cool about, doing like a chronological diary, so to speak, of my journey throughout CRNA school is to see my progress and to see where my mental headspace is at that moment. Like, sometimes I'm super excited and I'm super happy and you can see it in my voice, and then sometimes I'm super down and super not into it and almost like checked out, and it's okay to feel that way. And I really want to emphasize that, like, where we are is kind of like ebbing and flowing as we go, and that's in anything in life. But I'm like kind of glad by this process because I can look back on it and see where I was, and like if there was ever a moment where I question things, you know, I can refer back to it and be like, no, I got this. And yeah, I am starting to really enjoy this journey, and I'm liking that a lot of other people are too. And I appreciate all the comments that you guys leave me. It's really nice. I just really appreciate how supportive you all are, and engaging as well. And yeah, I feel like I've just been talking and I'm tired of it. I really want to go to bed. But thank you guys so much for following along in this journey. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe, comment if you like this video, and yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.